All right, hello YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a video about why Batman is a story about astrology. Okay, so the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy, highly recommend it. I hope you go and watch it, especially after this video. The trilogy is about basically Batman, which is a Scorpio, versus the other signs of the zodiac. Okay, so I thought a lot about this, and even if it's not true, which obviously since I came up with this, it's probably not true, but there are some themes that you can definitely take a look at. You should be able to recognize and be like, okay, yeah, this actually just kind of makes sense. Okay, so Batman obviously is a Scorpio. He wears all black. His past is marked by tragedy. His family was murdered in front of him. That's a Scorpio trait. He was obviously, put through a lot of trauma as a result of that. Scorpio has this theme of trauma in their life. If you ever met a Scorpio, typically they have, not to air out anyone's laundry, but they have some severe trauma, some past trauma a lot of times having to do with their family, their siblings, whatever the case may be. However, okay, anyway, so so Batman, this child who witnesses his parents getting murdered, goes through this transformation, right? And it's not necessarily right away. Throughout the series, he's kind of doing his own thing. We actually see him as he's just before he's introduced to the League of Shadows. Okay, but we obviously that his childhood trauma, and then of course he years later when he comes into age, comes into his manhood. He's still carrying that trauma with him. Okay, um, and he goes through this gradual transformation, right, throughout those years. Holding on to his trauma, carrying it with him. Not really doing anything productive. Getting into fights, right? Violence is another Scorpio trait. Fun fact: Pluto is the furthest away from the sun, or Neptune, if you're which one, but it's the furthest away from the sun. And again, Pluto, in what was the word? In old times, I forget the technical term, but back in the day, Scorpio was ruled by Mars. Okay, since we've discovered Pluto, we've now given it that designation. And again, Pluto being the furthest away from the sun, which gives it this icy quality. Okay, gives it this cold quality. But again, also previous ruler was Mars, so it's violent. So it's violently icy. It's fixed violence essentially. Okay, and the main the beginning of the first movie, Batman Begins, the trilogy. Batman ends up in this jail for getting into a fight, essentially, right? So yeah. Anyways, so we have this Scorpio man who meets Ra's al Ghul, which is the collective authority, Capricorn. Okay, they even tell you in the series, not to ruin it for anybody. If you haven't seen it, like I said, go watch it. But it's pretty old at this point. If you haven't seen it, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Ra's al Ghul tells you, we were the ones that sacked Rome. We were the ones that clicked the Great Reset button. We were the ones that monitor society and bring them back down. Put them in their place essentially when they become too decadent. I think that's the word that he used. Okay, so and that's totally a Capricorn trait. Who's responsible for everybody in the zodiac? Capricorn, right? Collective authority, right? Maybe not necessarily responsible, but who holds a majority of the power, and it's Capricorn. All right, Capricorn's ruled by Saturn. Saturn represents time. Ra's al Ghul being represented by Capricorn Saturn. There's this element of time, right? So the League of Shadows has been around for a long time, and they're probably really, really wealthy, right? But you wouldn't even think about it because they live in some monastery in Indonesia or wherever, and they live very, very, basic. You know what I mean? Like there's not too many. Obviously, they have weapons. They have gear. But if you think about it, if you were one of the people that had something to do with the fall of Rome, you probably had the opportunity to pick up some nice paintings. Maybe go through some special scrolls, and sell them to the highest bidder later on. So you think about it, there Ra's al Ghul and that whole that whole group is probably really wealthy, but I digress. So this Scorpio and the Capricorn get together, right? Which is like the two darkest, the two darkest zodiac signs, straight up. That's why they're best friends. Like Scorpio people typically only really like Capricorn people, and not necessarily not. That's actually not a really bad way to say it, but Scorpio, they typically only have a select few people in their circle, right? And more often than not, they're people who actually have like achieved something in life. So if you know a Scorpio, and they're not a low life, they probably have you around because you probably bring something to the table, or you're important. You have intrinsic value. So, anyways, these two come together. Batman goes through this transformation through the League of Shadows, right? Starts learning the truth and then decides to rebel. All right. So essentially that is the first movie is Batman overthrowing the collective authority of Capricorn, right? And because Batman does that, it causes the ripple effect throughout the rest of the zodiac sign for the basically people to rebel, okay? Because once the collective authority has been eliminated, so now you have all the other powers that come rising, okay? So that was movie one. Movie two is Batman versus the Joker, Taurus, and Harvey Two-Face, Gemini, okay? So Joker, again, very Venetian. When they actually they actually capture the Joker, they make the point that they don't know where his suit was made. There's no identifying marks, right? They don't know where it came from, so it was custom made. Okay, that's again a Venetian quality Taurus. Okay, the Joker wears purple and green, the sign of royalty and money. Okay, the Joker is so cool, by the way. It's just I just cannot get over how awesome this guy is. He's an agent of chaos. Okay, the Joker tells you this. So he's an agent of chaos, which is directly opposite Taurus of Batman. Okay, so you've got the Taurus Scorpio axis, and this is why that they're interlocked in this never-ending battles, because they can't kill each other, but they also can't just sit by and watch the other one do whatever they want. Okay, so it's this crazy push-pull effect. Okay, so again, he tells when he's speaking with Harvey Dent, he tells him, Harvey Two-Face, when they meet in the hospital, Harvey gets all bent out of shape because he's like, "Oh, you killed my girlfriend," and the Joker's like, he's like, "Oh, about that." He's like, "Man, I'm just a dog chasing a car. I wouldn't even know what to do if I got a hold of it," right? Basically, imparting his ideology onto Harvey Dent, Harvey Two-Face, and explaining to him that as an agent of chaos, he doesn't even think that far ahead. He's simply trying to upset the balance, okay? And gives Harvey the opportunity to actually kill him, right? And Harvey decides to flip a coin in true Gemini fashion, okay? But again, the Joker being this agent of chaos, what does he like? He likes gasoline, bullets, something guns or something like that, and he says they're all cheap, and this is a very Taurus thing, you know what I mean? So like, Taurus people, they tend to they'll spend money on themselves, but especially on things they like, right? And the Joker is all about the things that he likes, right? He's got a custom made suit. He only keeps actually what he needs, right? He doesn't want an excess of money. Like, no, he just wants the things that make him feel good or allow him to operate as being the agent of chaos. Okay. So, and again, more on the Taurus Scorpio axis. Towards the end of the movie, the Joker has a conversation with Batman, and he says, "This is when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object." Okay, basically emphasizing the Taurus Scorpio axis, the life and death axis. Okay, and I'm gonna do actually another video on the Taurus Scorpio axis just because I think it's so interesting. Okay, so you've got Ra's al Ghul representing the collective authority, Capricorn. You've got the Joker representing chaos, right? The basically the feminine in a way, Taurus. Now you have Harvey Dent, which again is the representation of Gemini, right? The two faces, the twins. Okay, Harvey Dent is a high-powered lawyer. He basically talks for a living. Okay, Gemini trait. He carries a coin around, right? And it's got two faces on it. And again, that's the same coin that he flips when he gets the opportunity to kill the Joker. And again, in true Gemini fashion, sticking to his Gemini ways, leaves it up to a coin flip and, decides the Joker's fate based off of that. And because the Joker represents chaos, it's almost kind of guaranteed that there's no way that the Joker would have been killed, right? Just because he's such a powerful agent for chaos. And, this world, per Ra's al Ghul is, just festering with chaos, festering with immorality, right? So anyways, yeah. So, and again, Gemini being mercurial is something where Gemini is one of those signs is whatever sign it's in, it picks up the traits of those signs, okay? But more importantly, it's good when it's with other good planets, and it's bad when it's with other bad planets, okay? So Mercury in Capricorn with Saturn is gonna be bad, okay? Mercury in Leo with the Sun is gonna be good. So Batman has his first interaction with Harvey. Batman stops him from killing somebody. It tells him, hey, that's not how we do business. You shouldn't kill innocent people. Or I'm sorry, you shouldn't kill people in general, not necessarily innocent. You shouldn't kill people, right? Kind of imparts this positive notion on Harvey, right? Well, Harvey goes through his character arc. Some things happen. Again, I'm not going to ruin the movie, but then the Joker has his opportunity to speak with him. And the Joker, gives him the chaos philosophy, right? And because, again, Mercury, picks up the traits wherever it's in, he turns evil essentially, okay? And then at the end of the movie, Batman gets his opportunity to speak with Harvey at again at one time. However, at this point, Harvey Two-Face has essentially been he's succumbed to his shadow. That's the word I was looking for. He's been subdued by his shadow side, okay? Being the chaos that the Joker represents. He's no longer the White Knight. Now he's Harvey Two-Face. You know what I mean? Like he has not necessarily a moral code. He just kind of goes with, it's black and white. It's like, hey, you live or you die. I'm gonna flip a coin. All right, you're dead. So again, that's the second movie. So movie number 3 is I don't know, I don't want to ruin it, but basically, the remnants of the League of Shadows, right? If you've seen the movie, I'm talking about, a particular character. And then, of course, Bane, which Bane is a total Aries, okay? Bane is, even in the comic books, he's known for being an incredible strategist, okay? He is, as close to the God of War as you could possibly get, right? Even defeats Batman, right, in the first half of the movie. Okay, breaking his back, putting him in check. So, he is again that cardinal fire, essentially, right? Always ready to fight. And then we get a glimpse of that, right? In the first half of the movie, he kills one of his own men, right? And it's that total Mars type of like dictatorship, right? Won't ruin the movie, but again, you can see the correlations now. With Bane being an Aries, being the God of War, being a really good strategist, he kind of war games the whole situation with Gotham, and he plays out all the logical steps and how everyone would react, and essentially, again, not to ruin the movie, but takes over an entire city, right, or an entire, I don't know. The proper term. I don't know if technically Gotham's a state or whatever. I don't know. I have to look at the mythology, but holds hostage an entire city and becomes a de facto leader, right, of millions of people. So only an Aries could pull something off like that. And then, of course, you have the last character in the movie, which is again, or the last person in the movie that Batman has to defeat. And again, that person is another representative of the League of Shadows, right? Or the collective authority. And, you know, again, more giving more credit to the fact that just when you think you've defeated, you know, Saturn, or you've beat the collective authority, you know, it kind of shows back up to be like, oh, nah. You know, we've been planning this for years. Like, you're not gonna set, and that again, that's Capricorn's powers. Like, you're not going to, you know, you can defeat Capricorn momentarily, but overall, you know, the remnants are always going to remain. There's always going to be, Capricorn has a plan A, a plan B, a plan Z, all through the entire alphabet, right? So that's why it's really hard to, you know, how do you defeat the god of time? You know what I mean? The keeper of time, when he's had more time to set up all the dice, set up the entire playing field, and set up almost all the characters on the board. You know, it's just something, one of those things that you're gonna have a hard time with, right? And you know, if you know any Capricorns, anyone with Capricorn placements, I actually have Saturn in Capricorn, so I understand this really, really well. You know, time is your best friend, and you know they don't. You know, taking a loss today to win big tomorrow is like Saturn's jam, essentially. Okay. Um, so that's it. I hope you like this video. I hope you see what I'm talking about as far as the Zodiac. Leave some comments on this video. Tell me what you think. You think I'm full of it? Oh yeah, by the way, so two more things I want to say. The Batman's girlfriend, the one that, you know, that is in the second movie, she's also in the legal system with Harvey Dent. And you could say that she represents Libra with the justice, the scales, right? You know, well, yeah, I won't get into it because I don't want to ruin anything in the movie. You just go check it out and see if you know what I'm talking about. And, you know, another fun fact, Pluto, the planet Pluto has 5 moons, okay? And one of them, coincidentally enough, is actually named Styx, right? Or like the river Styx, like in Greek mythology, you know, Hades. There's 5 rivers that lead to Hades, or 5 rivers around Hades, and one of them is called the Styx that you have to cross in order to get into Hades. Okay. Now, Batman in the movies, the trilogy, has five villains. Okay. So again, another correlation to give credence to this movie, and how, again, it's basically a story of the Zodiac, right? How Scorpio decides to ice the collective authority, and become the collective authority in a way, right? Which, and again, I'm just now putting this together too, which gives way to like the other comic book heroes, kind of in like the DC and the Marvel universe sort of thing. You know, when you try to kill Capricorn, you know, it only comes back stronger, hits harder, and that's kind of like that, you know, that theme throughout like the Justice League. And you know, you might kill one enemy, but then, you know, the next one's even twice as strong, yada yada yada. Anyways, like I said, drop a comment, let me know what you think. Is Batman really a story about the Zodiac? You know, is Batman a Scorpio? You know, what do you think about Bane? Is Bane an Aries? What Zodiac sign would you give of these characters? You know, if Joker's not a Taurus, or if Joker's not representing, you know, Taurus, you know, the feminine, the chaos, then what is? You know, give me some feedback, all right? Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.